Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a video where I discuss all of the authors that I discovered in 2022. I have a huge stack right here to share with you. I'm very excited to talk about all of these authors. I have found some really amazing authors this year, from historical to fantasy to contemporary to small town, just so many different authors and different genres, so super excited to share these with you. So let's get right into it. The first author is B.B. Easton. So I read The Devil of Dublin this past month and absolutely loved it. This is a dark romance, friends to lovers / childhood friends, and lots of pining. I really enjoyed this book. I loved B.B. Easton's writing in this one and how she added a lot of lore of Ireland in it, and just like fantastical, like fantasy kind of things, but not really fantasy, just like myths and tales, which I really enjoyed, and I can't wait to read more from her. I have her Praying for Rain series, so I really can't wait to dive into that. The next author I want to talk about is Carla Sorensen. I met her this past February at a book signing in Nashville, and I've just fallen in love with her writing. I've read this book and the last book in this series, and this series is about different sports, and it's called the Ward Sister series, so each follows a different sister, and it's really fun. This first book was kind of a hate to love, grumpy sunshine, office romance, and I really like her writing and her family vibes. Like, I just love the families in this one and the relationships. They are just so great to read, and I just really enjoy that from this author, and I can't wait to read more from her. The next author I discovered this year was Catherine Cowles. I have absolutely fallen in love with this author. She is just so amazing. She writes small town romances with suspense in them. They're just so fun. This one is Tattered Stars. This is the first book in her Tattered and Torn series. I highly recommend starting with this series first, and it is just so good. This first one, our heroine left town. Our heroine grew up in this small town, and her father was very doomsday-esque, and he kind of put her and her brother through different trials in their childhood, like survival, like training, and so he takes it too far when he kidnaps a young girl. And so Everly goes in like the middle of the night and tells the police about her father, and the little girl gets saved, and now she's back in town years later as an adult, and the town holds a lot of hostility towards her from both sides, from her father's family and just people kind of having the wrong impression of her, thinking that she's like her father, and it's a hate to love romance with the chief of police, or the sheriff, I think, and he does not like her because his sister was the one that was kidnapped, and he holds a lot of blame towards her, but then somebody starts coming after her, and so he kind of has to protect her. So it's really good. I really enjoy it. Some of her books are very emotional, and I love that she showcases a variety of different characters with different things going on with them, and I just love this author so much. The next author I want to talk about is Jessa Hastings. This is the only book I've read by Jessa Hastings, but I absolutely loved it. This is Magnolia Park so far. I think she writes very dramatic, angsty romances with a lot of angst and pining, and this one definitely has that. So our hero and heroine were together for years until our hero cheated on the heroine, and now they have gone their separate ways, but they are still best friends, and he likes to hurt her by having sex with other women, and she likes to hurt him by serial dating, dating lots of guys to hurt him, and it's just their romance, and I'm very excited to continue on with this series. I really like her writing, and just the emotionality of it and the toxicity of this relationship is so incredible, and I can't wait to read more from her. The next author I want to talk about is Sarah Kate. Sarah Kate really blew up this year, I feel like, with this series, which is the Salacious Players Club series, I think it's called. Salacious Players Club. And her books, this series, it's very spicy and kinky. So our hero is one of the owners of a sex club, and the heroine dated his son, and so she needs to go collect her like rent, like part of her this like check from her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's like, go see my dad, and so his dad thinks that she is like his new submissive because he was like, bring in the new submissive, and so he's like, when she walks into the room, he's like, get on your knees, and she's like, what? And he's like, get on your knees, and he doesn't know who she is, and it is just kind of crazy, and then he realizes it, and he's kind of like, oh crap, like I just asked this girl to get on her knees, like that is so awkward, and so they have a really awkward meet cute, and he kind of offers her this job of being his assistant because he knows that she needs money, and so they kind of start having a little bit of a relationship, and it's really good. Age gap, boyfriend's dad romance. Really enjoyed this one. Next author is J.T. Geisinger. So I read the first 2 books in this series this year, and I've really enjoyed them. This is the second book, and it is a mafia romance, kidnapping, and I just think I love how she brings humor to mafia and dark romances. So I'm super excited to read more from this series and more from this author. So the next author I want to talk about is Kate Bateman. She is a historical romance author, and I just really enjoy her romances. This is one of my favorites by her. And she just writes really unique romances, I feel like this one. Our hero and heroine are rival families, and they have to kind of work together because they find this treasure in this cave, and it's like kind of on both parts of their land, and it's hate to love, and they have to figure out like what happened there, and it's really interesting, and he kind of really likes her, she likes him, like thinks he's cute, but they like hate each other because of their rival families, and when they get together finally, their family's like, what the heck. It is such a great romance. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. The next author I want to talk about is Lenore Bell. She's another historical romance author. I just think her romances are so sweet, and I really love the heroes in her romances. They're protective and obsessive over the heroine, but not like in a bad way. And this one is a really fun romance where our heroine is writing a dictionary, and the hero is like a construction worker on like the project next door, and she really doesn't like him because of all the loud noise he's making. And they kind of work together because she inherits a bookstore, and so he's helping her like refurbish it, and they have a romance, and it's really good. I am so excited to read more from Lenore Bell, and I really like this one. The next author is Devney Perry. I have really fallen in love with Devney Perry's writing this year. She has just become a fast favorite of mine. She writes really good small town romances with big families, and I just love those. So this one specifically is called The Edens, and they're this big influential family in this small town in Montana, and this one, our heroine, is trying to escape her life kind of, and she is moving to this small town to get away. She has a newborn son, and her life just kind of sucks right now, and so she's staying with the hero actually in this like apartment garage thing that he owns by his house, and she's just like up every night with her baby crying, and she doesn't know what to do. And one night the hero comes and is like, I can help you. And so they kind of start like having this like friendship where he's helping her with her baby, and they're getting to know each other. It's really cute. He kind of had judgments on her, thinking she was one thing when she isn't, and so they just have this really sweet romance. He is kind of grumpy, and I just really love this one. It is so good, and I think Devney Perry is such a great writer. The next author I discovered is Nicole Fiorina. I've only read this series by her, but I just absolutely love it. She writes dark romances, very emotional romances. In this one, our heroine, she is dealing with a lot mentally, and her parents basically sent her off to this, I think it's like a, it's called a university, but it's for dangerous young adults. And so she meets our hero Ollie at this institution, and they have a romance, and it's very crazy. A lot of things happen. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is just so good. I absolutely love this book. Definitely go check this series out. Nicole Fiorina just writes such angsty, amazing romances, and I can't wait to read Hollowed Heathens. The next author I want to share with you is Jennifer Hartman. This is my book, the only book that I've read by her, but it is my top book of this year. I absolutely loved it. So she writes, in general, very forbidden romances. Some of them are darker. One of the books she wrote was a dystopian-ish novel. Just very dark, emotional, angsty romances. And this one, our hero and heroine get kidnapped. And they get out of that situation, but the hero is engaged to the heroine's sister, but they are having a romance and they have feelings for each other. It's very complicated, but I just love this book. I flew through it in a day. It was amazing, and I can't wait to read more from Jennifer Hartman. The last two books are some historical romance authors. The last two books are historical romance authors, and that's Grace Calloway. So this one is an indie romance, and this is the only one I've read by her, but she's becoming a fast favorite. I just absolutely devoured this book. This is a forbidden romance, very spicy for historical romance, and I just absolutely loved it. I can't wait to read more of her books, and especially this series because all of the women are spies, and I'm very excited to read this. The rest of the series, and I love this one, and I can't wait to read more from her. The last author I want to share with you is Joanna Shupe. I read The Bride Goes Rogue this year, actually pretty recently. Absolutely loved it. She writes romances that are set in the Gilded Age, which is I think it's late 1890s, early 1900s, where most historical romances are set in the 1820s, early 1800s. But I just love this one. It is such a fun read. She writes a variety of books. She writes more sweet romances. Grumpy Sunshine, Hate to Love. This one's a Hate to Love. Forbidden, and I just really like her writing. I think it's very fresh, and I love the historical time period she chose. It's just very interesting, and I just love her as a writer. That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I just love all of these authors, and I'm so happy that I found them this year. I just want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.